Mood of the country. I'm telling you, this is like normies. When you have normies coming up to me, I'm like, "Whoa, man, you're saying that? I don't know if I would say that." And I'm supposed to be the real radical right, right? No, I'm like the super moderate compared to what people in real life are starting to say. People are fed up, and these are people in radical groups or anything like this. They're just trying to live their lives, and they're like, "Why in the hell are you threatening to raise taxes, confiscate our land, make it impossible for us to do business and grow food and provide it to you? Why are you telling us and our children that they're evil because of their race? Why are you saying if we protest that, you're going to send the secret police after us? Why are you saying this bullshit that we got to allow in all these illegal immigrants?"
Of the 2 million people in California's farming industry, 1.5 million are in the United States illegally.
You want to get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
Thing, F Joe Biden. This is crazy. And we talked about how Biden wants to do this asset tax where he will basically try to throw farmers off their farms by confiscating their lands because of the high tax he's going to impose. Meaning, if you get the property, let's say cheap, you inherited it years ago and it's increased in value, even before you sell, Biden wants you to pay a huge tax bill. And if you can't, then his friends at BlackRock will buy it at pennies on the dollar. This is evil. This is what they're planning to do.
That strategy is called buy, borrow, die, and it effectively allows them to skirt taxes forever. Here's how it works. It's actually pretty straightforward. You buy an asset, or in Musk's case, start a company. As that asset increases in value, rather than selling it, which would trigger taxes, they borrow against it, avoiding taxes on their actual wealth for their entire lifetime. Then, when they die, they can pass that asset to their heirs. Currently, a provision in the tax code called a step-up basis allows those heirs to avoid paying capital gains on any of the increase in value that happened for that asset over the lifetime of Musk or whoever it is that leaves it to them. So again, buy, borrow, die. The end result is that this strategy routinely allows massive fortunes to escape taxation forever.
And they're planning also to do a separate tax. If you drive a lot, they're going to give you an extra tax on your mileage.
Bill Gates is the largest private owner of farmland in the US. A 2018 purchase of 14,500 acres of prime eastern Washington farmland, which is traditional Yakima territory, for $171 million, helped him get that title. In total, Bill Gates owns approximately 242,000 acres of farmland with assets totaling more than $690 million. To put that in perspective, says Estes, that's nearly the size of Hong Kong and twice the acreage of the Lower Brule Sioux tribe, where I'm an enrolled member. A white man owns more farmland than my entire native nation. It's not Bill Gates on his own. There are other billionaire moguls out there. The billionaire media mogul Ted Turner epitomizes these disparities. The disparities to which Nick Estes is referring is wealth accumulation always goes hand in hand with exploitation and dispossession. The 1862 Homestead Act opened up 270 million acres of indigenous territory, which amounts to 10% of US land. Turner owns 2 million acres and has the world's largest privately owned buffalo herd. It seems so mental to have a privately owned buffalo herd. I suppose I've got a cat who's recently had kittens. They're preserved on 200,000 acres of Turner's ranch land, land that was once guaranteed by the US government to be a permanent home for Lakota people. The old promises have been reneged on. This is interesting how this relates to the kind of pledges and promises that are made around big tech, big data, ID passports, etc. Estes continues, the gun and the whip may not accompany land acquisitions this time round, talking about American farmland, but billionaire class assertions that they are the philosopher kings and climate conscious investors who know better than the original caretakers are little more than ruses for what amounts to a 21st century land grab with big payouts in a for-profit economy seeking green solutions. Like wealth, land ownership is becoming concentrated in fewer and fewer hands, resulting in a great push for monocultures and more intensive industrial farming techniques to generate greater returns. 1% of the world's farms control 70% of the world's farmland.
A dictator called Ceausescu, and he was pretty independent of the Soviet sphere, but so he wanted to continue. And they had their secret police, just like Biden now has his FBI trying to terrorize political opponents. The Romanians had the same thing. And just like now we have snitches with this whole COVID thing, they had snitches in Romania. That was part of their culture. In fact, women there loved it. They loved to snitch on people. People would snitch on each other to try to win favors, or if you didn't like someone, you would snitch on them, make up a story. That was the climate, was a climate of fear. With our own eyes, how they're lying to us. And see, this is a thing that was similar under Ceausescu. The whole thing, everything was based on lies. One of the things is Ceausescu, his wife was like a dullard. She was really stupid, but she got all these imaginary degrees, and the people that had to sing songs and write poetry, how she was the most brilliant woman to ever have lived. She was like a doctor in chemistry, but she couldn't even do basic chemistry. But everyone had to pretend. We all had to pretend she's just brilliant. I think her name was Elena. I forget, but they always had to worship her. And same with Ceausescu. And so whenever Ceausescu went around, he got a lot of cheers. Everyone's like, yay, yay. And because it was all based on lies, it wasn't real.
The destruction of our lives, our cultures, our freedoms, our identities, our land was defined as a civilizing mission of the barbarians. There's a new barbarian definition being put on ordinary human beings, so that the new civilizing mission of takeover can happen.